Hey, hi, hello. My name is Emily, and thanks so much for hanging out with us on the Today Needs You podcast. This is where we have the chance to chat about all the things, from feelings and friendships to our favorite sneakers and our favorite Bible verses. We're going to tackle it all. I'm super pumped about today's episode, so let's dive in together.
Hi.
Hi
guys. Thanks so much for coming back with us on the Today Needs You podcast. I'm super excited to be joined by my friend Maia Wantz today.
Hi.
And we're going to be tackling the topic of goal setting and priorities, because I don't think anyone thinks they have that perfectly figured out.
No.
And
we're gonna try.
Right. We're going to try to make it a little bit easier to manage.
Make sense
maybe.
of it, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
But before we do that, tell us a little bit about yourself, Maia, and let us get to know you a little bit.
Okay. I have lived in Texas for about 4 years, going on 5 this summer.
Where'd you live before then?
I lived in Washington State.
Yes.
The rain state, the cold state, depressing. I liked it though. It was nice.
It makes me think of Twilight.
It is. I love Twilight. It's great.
I love it.
But I'm a sophomore at Lake Travis High School. I love books. I love reading. I like school to a certain point, but I do prefer hanging out with friends like a normal teenager.
I think that's really fair.
Yep.
Yeah. Love it. Do you have a favorite subject?
Favorite subject. I have a favorite subject, and then I have a subject I'm really good at.
Ooh, so that's fun that those are two different things.
Two different things.
I like it.
I mean, I'm really good at math, so it makes it fun to be good at something, honestly. But I like learning about history, even though it's probably my worst grade. But I like it.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Been there for sure. I love it. I am super pumped to talk about goals and priorities.
Yes.
Because I don't think anyone feels like they have that perfectly figured out.
And they don't. So
I definitely do not. No. And so I'm excited though, because you are someone who manages a lot on your plate. One of the oldest of 4 siblings.
Yes.
You have 3 younger brothers. Yeah. Just in case you didn't know that.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just the reminder. You are on dance team for your school, which is definitely a lot of time.
It's a lot of managing.
Yes, a lot of managing. And also school. Casually, you go to school 8 hours every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's my job.
So, and you are very involved at church.
I am, yeah. That's my biggest pride and joy, honestly.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And so those are 4 pretty big things. Oh, and you spend time with friends.
Yeah, I do.
And so doing all of those things.
It's a lot of juggling.
It is a lot of juggling. And I think you've done a really good job of being intentional and strategic in how you spend your time. But I wanted to talk about, as far as goal setting and priorities, that's something that can get pretty daunting and overwhelming, because those are big words. I think for me, I know that they're important and I know that they matter. But if you're in school, you don't necessarily get to, or even if you have a job, you don't get to say no, that's not a value of mine. That's not a priority. So I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, things are definitely forced on you, but you have to, but then you have to manage them and choose what's most important
and
to you.
How you're going to do what you're going to do and why you're going to do what you're going to do. And I think that's where, so yes, tell us a little bit about how you view goal setting and priorities in general. How would you define those things, and how do you manage them?
Okay. Well, what I do is I'm not a person that has a planner, and I've never gotten around to buying one. And I think it's because I know.
That surprises me so much.
I know that's horrible. I don't even have
not necessarily.
I don't have a calendar in my phone.
You keep it all in your brain?
I keep it all in my brain.
Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed.
I have my mom as my teammate, so she'll remind me of some things.
That's true.
I think I'm going to have to start getting into it once
I feel like you would love it.
Dude, I actually think I would, because I took a minute yesterday to write everything on a whiteboard and just put it all down and color code it, and it felt good. I'm not gonna lie, it did. And sometimes it's hard to manage. I mean, honestly sometimes. Good
but
example,
that's a goal of yours.
Yeah, good. That is a goal of mine. I try to make everyone in my life happy, and I try to make everyone that I have in my life and that chooses to be in my life feel loved and supported all the time.
I love
so that I want to be people's not go-to person, because I know I can't be everyone's go-to person.
Yes.
But I want to be a person that they will feel comfortable coming to and giving me their saggies
and
their braggies.
Space.
Yeah, I want to hear everyone's things. I want to hear everyone's good parts. I want to hear everyone's life stories. But I feel like part of that is just accepting that you can't. And you can't be friends with everyone all the time. But when you do have a lot of friends in different areas, you have to manage all of those people. And sometimes, like me, you're going to feel like you have to be nice all the time or be awesome all the time. But a good example is today, I tried to make an Instagram post. And newsflash, I had too many photos. I couldn't fit everyone in. So,
you're going to have like 10 carousel.
I had to decide. Yeah. I know. I was like, do my friends that follow me want to see 20 different slides of everyone that's my Valentine because I love all of them, or do I just do one and tell everyone that I love them in a different way? Because I mean, even if
that's a great example.
Exactly. Even if you are left out in someone's Valentine's post, or if you can't fit everyone, you can still let other people know you love them. Because I still texted my friend Dash and was like, I love you, dude. And that I didn't fit you in my girl boss post, but I do love you, and I hope your Valentine's is good.
Yeah. You pivoted when it didn't pan out the way you thought it would.
I compromised for the people. Yeah. I made it work, and I didn't let it bother me. I think that's kind of important, because sometimes I let things bother me, and that's something my mom taught me to not. I mean, just like make things that are important to you, make them important. If you want to get something done, then get something done. If this wants to be important to me, if getting everyone on there was important, then I was gonna do it, because that is a goal in my life. Also, just like trying to understand what is important to me. Yeah, because then you have priorities. Because I just segued.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like when you talk about that, something that you do value and you do care about is making your friends feel valued and cared for. And so while you thought you were going to do it in this way with everyone being represented in your Instagram, you changed what your Instagram was.
Because it's not possible.
Got to text people instead and say different things and have a different caption or whatever.
I took the time of my day to do that.
There you go. And I think that is such a good point. Like, values are going to come into conflict with each other sometimes, and you do have to pick which one is higher. And sometimes that can be hard, but I think with priorities, like something I learned from Jordan, my boyfriend, is a history lesson. Yes. That the word priority, in its origin was only singular. Like, it was not priorities. You could not have 7 priorities. You had one priority and everything else came under it. And I think it says a lot about where we are today, that it is priorities. That is how the word is used. It's like, what are your priorities, and how many do you have, and how many do you manage? And it can get overwhelming.
You can have one.
But I think it's nice to know, like, for me, priority number 1 is my relationship with God. And then priority thank you. I do feel pretty good about it, thanks to scripture and really wise counsel around me. My relationship with God, and then loving people, because God created every single person.
Yeah. I preach on that to my 7th graders. I say,
I love it.
If you're in doubt,
your middle school small group that you lead.
When I have my middle schoolers and they come to me and they're like, Maya, this girl said this and they have issues, I'm like, well, love on them. Because that's like a big thing about being a Christian, is that no matter what, or like that's the thing I lead in my life, honestly. I've talked to parents about it, I've talked to friends, and I will stand by this for probably my entire life. Yeah. No matter what a person does or where they've been, you treat everyone with the kindness and God, like in the godliness that God has shown you throughout your entire life.
Yeah. Like, I think that's so good.
If you reflect what's given to you, because that's what you can do as a Christian. Yeah. Because such an amazing gift was given to you, salvation. The little bit that you can give back to humanity on a daily, if you aren't reading your Bible, if you aren't worshiping, if you haven't been to church in a while, it doesn't matter.
You can be kind.
Exactly. Something you do on a daily, or something you can do or try to do on a daily, is just be kind to everyone around you.
I love that. And I think that's something where when you're growing up, your time does typically get set for you. Like,
it does, exactly.
These are the hours you're going to be at school. This is the extracurricular you're going to do. This is the AP you're going to do. This is where you're going to go. This is how you're going to spend your time. And so there's not a lot of choice in necessarily like where you go and what you do, but there is a lot of choice in how you handle it. And so as far as like goal setting and priorities go, I think, like you're talking about, like being kind and just like caring about people is something that can be a priority no matter what your schedule looks like.
And this is a separate priority to your get this done by then and blah, blah. But like, if you have a priority in your life and how you want to lead your social life, that's great. And if you don't have one, a great way to get one is by realizing, what do you want to be known for?
Yeah, like that's a great stepping point. That's a great practical tool. Like, what do you want? And I think a great way, sometimes like that's a really big question. What do you want to be known for? Yeah. I can get overwhelmed by that when I'm trying to think about it for myself. You definitely can, But then I look to the people that I look up to and that I respect.
There we go.
And I'm like, ooh, what do I love about them? What do people say about them? To get ideas for what I want to be known for. And even here in my home, y'all are joining me in my home. Thanks for coming over, Maya. I want it to be a place of kindness and love, but also of like joy and laughter and comfort.
Exactly.
And so those kinds of things, I want safe space to be,
do that.
like you said, like you want to be a place where people know they can come to you and you'll listen.
Exactly, yeah.
Those are really great. And I think going from what you want to be known for and then trickling all the way down to like keeping your options open. How do I do that? And then like, okay, I'm just going to take the next right step, the next step that I know to take. I'm going to say yes to this challenge, or I'm going to say yes to being kind to this person that it's really hard to be kind to them. Hypothetically speaking, I've never experienced that.
No one ever has.
Yeah, no one's ever had a hard time being nice to people. I'm going to say no to this decision that I feel a little icky about, or whatever that or I'm going to do my homework even though I don't feel like it, or I'm going to be honest to my teacher even though I do not feel prepared for this test or this quiz. Like, I'm going to live honestly and kindly. And yeah, I think we'll tackle, I do get excited about the like planner side of things when it comes to goal setting. But I think that this is like the super important context of like, where does goal setting even start? And I think, like you said, what do I want to be known for and what are my values?
Exactly. And you
said the perfect starting point.
Yeah, you said looking up to people, because that's great. I mean, no matter if it's like being kind to people or knowing your tiny goals that are going to reach your big goal. Yeah. Because I mean, let's say you do, and you take away from this video or this podcast and you walk away and you're like, okay, I'm going to have goals that I'm going to make in my life, and they can be small and they can be big, and I'm going to try to do them. Because sometimes if you feel like you're in a hurricane or a whirlwind in your life and you just can't do it right now, then you can make tiny goals or big goals that will help lead you in the right direction. And it's perfect. I encourage that many of those be like faith surrounded, because when you surround yourself by faithfully, like godly things in life, you get happier because it works. Or
you're setting yourself up for a win.
Exactly.
I think. Yeah.
You're setting a good example for yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
Exactly.
It's
so
perfect.
That's why you get role models from your life. You can get them from church or people you're in school with.
Thanks so much for joining us, and thanks for hanging out with us. And we will definitely see you again. This is super fun.
I hope so.
Yes, super, super fun. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching and listening. Thanks so much for listening while we're just getting started. If you want to stay plugged into this community, like, subscribe, and let us know what you'd like to hear more about, who you would like to hear from by shooting us an email at info@allthethings.community.